We've got a bunch of the first Skylanders Giants and some of the Lightcore, some of the new figures here. So let's take a look.
Okay, great.
Get them on the portal.
All right.
And see them
Which
in the game.
first?
Or should we start with Prison Break? Welcome to Family Gamer TV. I'm with Paul Reiche again. We're making a habit of this.
Yes.
To talk some more about Skylanders Giants. We've got a bunch of the first Skylanders Giants and some of the Lightcore, some of the new figures here. So let's take a look.
Okay, great.
Get them on the portal.
All right.
And see them
Which
in the game.
first?
Or should we start with Prison Break?
Oh, right.
It's one of the first ones I saw.
And he's actually one of our best, I think, Lightcore characters. You can see how his hands glow when they get close to the portal. And he looks different in game, and he's got this special blast he can do when he enters levels.
Yeah, and so all the Lightcores have that, is that right?
That's right.
And it actually causes some damage when they come in.
Oh yeah, it causes a lot of damage. It's like a smart bomb effect, and it's once per level. But what's really exciting for me is this new technology we've pioneered to absorb the magic energy of the portal and transform it into light. And the fact that you never need any batteries in those toys, and how they, if you pull them slightly away from the portal, he's going to vanish here for a sec. You can see how those lights begin to glow brighter and brighter.
Yeah.
I think it's magical and cool, and I want one of these as a nightlight.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that, won't they? I'll bring this platform round. So, talking about the way the light comes on, something I really like about Eruptor is the way his mouth looks like he's breathing fire. So let's bring him in.
Well, one of the things we tried to do is make these lights really play into the definition of the characters, and everybody knows Eruptor's lava on the inside, so it's natural for him to glow bright orange.
Yeah.
Oh, there, and you see the Lightcore blast come out.
Yeah, nice. And so it happens once per level, but it's also once per figure.
That's correct.
So if you've got a whole bunch of Lightcores, you get that.
Yeah, and if you ever play through the game in what we call our Nightmare difficulty mode, it's really helpful to have a couple of these guys, because you get into a big battle, and then you can bring in your Lightcore and just blast all of the enemies.
Nice.
Lava helps too.
Yeah. And so the Nightmare level, you have to play through on the hardest difficulty, and then it unlocks that? Is that right?
Well, you can actually play through on any difficulty level, and it'll unlock Nightmare. One of the cool things about the difficulty in Giants is that you can change it as you're playing. So if you get to a part of the game that's just too easy, you can crank the difficulty up, and vice versa. If you're in a place that you get stuck, you can drop it down temporarily. Yeah. But once you pick Nightmare, you're stuck with it.
Oh, okay.
And so you can play through in easy or play through in hard. But when you start a new game, that's when you choose Nightmare.
So you'd go into settings, is that right? And change.
Go into general. Adjust difficulty.
So here we got.
So your setup is hard.
Oh, so already hard. You're trying to catch me out. Let's make it easier. So you got those three, and when you finish on any one of those, then you get.
That unlocks our evil chaos.
Yeah, so let's go maybe medium. And then, so back, yes?
Yep.
Is that right?
And one more time. And one more. There you go.
Right, so let's bring another Lightcore in. So we've got, this is Drobot, is that right?
Yes, that's our Lightcore Drobot. And he's, if you remember from the last game, he's part dragon and part machine.
Yeah, that's great.
And the glow is in the interior of his back. You can actually see it best looking down from above.
Yep.
Drobot's one of the most popular characters we've had, and so making him one of our Lightcore was a natural.
Yeah, was it hard to choose which were Lightcore?
It was very hard to choose which characters we made Lightcore, because it was sort of like this honor for them. They would be shown one more time. We have Lightcore toys, and then we have Series 2 toys. But also, we put extra love into the Lightcore because we had to spend all the time sorting out the wiring and the light color. And you can't imagine how much time we spent looking through catalogs on the color of LEDs.
Oh, right, really? Yes.
Yeah, that was really fun. I love going through parts catalogs.
So that was something I presume Robert Leyland, who we just talked to.
Yes, Robert Leyland actually went out and got virtually every color of LED and set up this color board for us, and then Iwe and I could sort of turn them on and experiment with them.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it was And then, you know, we would work with Red Octane, and we'd sort out the exact part numbers, and they would find them in China and get them integrated into the toys.
I'm stuck now. What would I do?
I think you're going to have to turn that back. Aha! Sneaky trick. And then shove that one, and there's a pit further on. This is the return of Blobbers, one of our favorite NPC characters over there. He's always getting into trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I see.
I forgot to mention that the gate is locked, and unfortunately...
I think he has allergies or something. But he's really hoping that you're going to take him away from this pirate carnival, because it's the worst carnival ever. They try to terrify everybody who comes in here.
Yeah, pirates and carnivals, I guess, don't really match. Okay, great. So let's move on. So that's all the light cores we've got here, I think. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. But each of the giants also has the lighting feature.
Okay.
So
let's look at Bouncer.
Yeah, Bouncer's great. Bouncer's our
Look
tech
at that.
giant.
Eyes. Deal with the wheel.
And he's always in motion. He's got these finger guns.
Yeah.
And he fires these sort of red energy balls that bounce around. And although he's a very dangerous robot, he's always having fun.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that was something that Ewa was talking about in designing the characters. There is like a comedic element to all of them, and we looked at some of the different designs for Bouncer. And it's nice. It's nice the way it's developed. I think that is quite a nice way to deal with the shooting. It's almost like a pop gun rather than a real gun.
Well, I have to credit Eric Hirschberg for that. So he's in charge of all of the studios and the creative development. And he loves Skylanders, and his children play it. And so he cares quite a bit about our character designs.
Oh, so I'm picking up a rock here.
Oh,
so
nicely done.
So I can throw this now, can I?
Yes, you can. In this case, I think you defeated all the enemies. So.
Oh, I see.
But you did blow up that barrel.
Yeah, so Eric.
Oh, so as I was saying, Eric looked at our initial designs, and he said, I think this is a little bit too serious. I think you're missing a sense of humor. And so he really challenged us to come back with a design for the characters that integrated these sort of bouncy guns, but in a funny way, in a way that seemed approachable. And so we kept iterating, and we came up with these, and then we all agreed that this was the best solution.
Yeah, it was great. I think it's really nice. It's sort of the steampunk sort of feel to him. So here, is that like a side quest, or is this part of the...
Skystones is an actual card game. That's a collectible card game played with stones.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this.
Yeah, if you go into it, actually this is the first person who you can play, so he's going to explain the game a little bit.
Okay.
Spiderlings.
So pick one of these.
Right, so what you see there is the enemy has placed a card, and it has one pokey bit.
Oh yeah?
So you need to get a pokey bit that's greater in number.
Oh, greater.
So, greater in number. So
that's no good.
And you can back out and select a different one if you want.
So
yeah, if you get him.
Mace Major.
And so he's going to capture him, and then that'll make the spiderling your color.
Oh, I see.
And so what you try to do is you each have 5 cards, and at the end of the game, when you've filled up all those spaces, whoever owns the most squares wins. And as you go through the game, you can win new cards, you can buy new cards, and some cards like that have an elemental power, so you see that that's a life element. And some boards have spaces where only elements can go. So as you're going through the game, you'll find these new boards, and sometimes you'll have to go out and improve your collection of cards before you can defeat that.
So here I've got a 1 at the top and 1 at the side, but you have to match those both, do you? So this middle row.
Right. If you move your Skystone into a space that's got more than one enemy around it, you can beat any or all of them. And you're never at risk of being taken when you place a stone. It's only when your opponent places a stone. Oh, so you dealt with him handily.
Yeah, I think he was going easy. The first one. That's
Actually,
really nice.
I think the most difficult player in this whole game is this small child.
Yeah, really?
Yep, he's a devil.
Cool, so that was part of progressing in the main game,
right?
Playing that, it's
yeah.
an integral.
A few of the card games are in what we call the main path, and then we've got dozens that are off to the side.
Cool. Well, let's move on to get Crusher on. Oh yeah, so his armor and his eyes. And he's got this massive hammer.
Yeah, and
it reminds me. This out of all of the giants reminds me of like a sort of Warhammer or a D&D type character.
Well, we love both Warhammer and D&D.
Yeah.
And, you know, it also, there's a pretty strong, I think, appeal to people who play Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's this presentation of fantasy monsters with a colorful, chunky solidity that all of those games, I think, use.
So he has this beam, is that out of his eyes, is it?
Yes, it's like a Gorgon's vision. He
yeah.
can freeze opponents.
That's cool.
And he's got, of course, the giant hammer. And he's made of rock, and he can actually explode into a set of rocks.
Yeah. I see.
And then you can reform.
Does it?
One of the bits of trivia about him is that if you ever watched Hercules, Kevin Sorbo played Hercules, and it turns out that Kevin Sorbo's kids love Skylanders.
Oh, right.
So he came to us after the first game and said, hey, is there anything I can do in the next game? And so he was perfect for the voice of Crusher.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, we really had, because people were interested in the game, we found some great new actors. George Takei, you know, Sulu from Star Trek.
Yeah.
He plays one of our villainous robots. And it was so great to have him involved. I've always loved George Takei.
Yeah, that's great. And so each of the giants have a voice actor like that?
You know, it depends. A lot of the voice actors we worked with in the first game, you have to turn right towards them and then use that vision and... Ow.
Too close.
Maybe you better just hit him with a giant hammer. He's got that shield in front of him. Oh, nicely
There we
done. Okay. Now, one of the things we did this time around is the characters have more detailed and interesting behaviors in combat. So the archers are actually running away so they can shoot you from a distance.
Oh, clever. Mean as well.
Very pesky.
That's
that'll
sort
take
of
care of them.
Oh, and can you actually just walk over with the giant?
With
Does that
giants are
damage?
so strong that the very small characters you can just squish.
Yeah. Okay.
Now he's frozen,
Oh, yeah.
and then you can just
Oh, I
smash
see.
him.
Oh, so the vision freezes.
Yes. Letting him be a little bit easier to squish with your hammer.
Yeah. Great. Well, let's move on. And so we can switch in T-Rex, who was the first, I remember back in...
Right, he comes in our starter set. He comes both in the starter set that has the Portal and 2 other characters, and he also comes in what we call the Portal Owner's Pack, where you get just the software and him for quite a bit less money.
Yeah. So if you got the Portal already, if you had the first game, you wouldn't need to rebuy it.
Right, and you probably then have a collection of Skylanders, and you can play all those Skylanders in this game. And in fact, you can play the whole game with from start to finish with your old characters if you want. But we dearly hope you'll love the new characters as well. This is a tough battle we're about to enter in here. So here, we've got the Cyclops is down below, and then you've got the heavies up top, and they're going to wait until you get close to them or until you defeat these Cyclopses.
Yeah.
And then when they come in, things are going to get really tough. Oh, here they come.
Can I get this?
Yep, that's a good answer. That, you can just smash them.
Oh, I did it the right way.
Maybe there's some more rocks around. Oh, nicely done.
Rocks.
So,
T-Rex has got a charge, hasn't he, somehow? Oh, like that.
T-Rex, he's our life giant. And of course, he looks like a giant animated tree. He has both his tremendous fist smash. He also has the ability to sort of put that arm up and charge like a rugby player. And he also gets this sort of life energy beam as one of his upgrades on the 3rd button.
Right.
And actually, it's some of the higher upgrades.
Oh, I see.
He gets like
a
woodpecker assistant.
Oh, yeah, really? Nice.
First woodpecker assistant in video games. Yeah, I think one of the things we always try to do with the upgrade trees is really provide strong visual transformations of the character.
Yeah.
Well, that was Callie. She's one of the assistant NPCs. So here you're doing something that only a giant can do. If you go up there and you press the Y, you'll be able to see how strong they are. So here he's actually going to pull in. Now, you're going to have to try hard. You're going to have to press that Y button
Alright,
pretty
match
hard.
this.
You can do it! So he's actually pulling in this giant ship.
So if this is on the Wii, is it like a movement?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're sort of waggling the Wiimote. Oh, that's great.
No stopping me!
So with the giants, we try to deliver this sense of tremendous strength. But one of the interesting challenges is, of course, balancing the game so that tremendous strength and size isn't the answer to every problem. There really are cases in the game where you want to use, you know, the normal size Skylanders.
Yep, well, before we get to those, let's have a look at...
Okay, fire away.
let's have a look at Swarm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our last giant we've got here.
So the story of Swarm is that he was one of the guards of the Royal Hive. And he's grown huge, so they kicked him out. But I love his voice, too. One of the things we tried to do with the voice acting was work a little bit against your expectations. So he's got this sort of Italian roll in his voice. And that came because we actually have Alessandro is one of our modelers, and he's got this great Italian accent, and we had him record the temporary video. And we just fell in love with it. And so when we went and got the professional actor, we kept saying, no, more Italian.
Yeah. So look, we have, oh, he can fly. Look at that.
Yeah, so he can fly right off the bat. He's got these big, energized stings in his hands. And then he's got hive power. As he gets upgrades, he can, he transforms into a swarm.
Wow, he really is. Like a little hive of bees. Wow. Oh, can you you can stay in that different mode, can you?
Quite a long time. Yeah, I think eventually you'll come out, and then as you upgrade, the swarm gets more powerful.
Yeah.
And if you go in there, for example, I can't remember, somehow the giants, they crouch down to get through those doors. Now, if we had not had a giant and we wanted to get on that boat, we would have come in here and played a game of Skystars.
Okay.
But since we're a giant, we were able to go right past that.
Yeah.
And actually, the fact that you were able to come into these interiors is new to giants. Before the buildings, you couldn't go inside them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so in Skylanders Spyro's Adventures, the buildings were there, but they were just sort of, you know, like you say, you couldn't actually enter.
Yeah, and that adds, you know, as something as simple as that adds this greater sense of reality. Ah, one of your favorites, the
Soul Gem.
The Soul Gems.
So for the Soul Gems, so do we have them? And what they do is well, let's play it. So we've just found Swarm Soul Gem, but that's just a coincidence, is it?
Yes, that is just a coincidence.
And so this gives us an introduction, and we can get to have a look.
If you haven't seen Swarm before, this will explain a little bit about his personality. We'll also show you a bit of gameplay about what he can do.
Yep.
And that way you can make hopefully a more informed choice about, if you want to buy more characters, which ones.
Yep. And so, Soul Gems in Giants, are they just for the Giants or the new characters?
Just the new characters. So there's fewer in this game than in the previous game.
So that would be, I get the numbers right.
16.
So, yeah, so 8 Giants, and 8 new characters, yeah.
Yes.
And so the Soul Gems for the Lightcore are the same.
Right. Yeah,
So
we
it's
don't
the same
need new Soul Gems
Yeah.
for them. So there's one in each level. I believe there are a couple of levels where there aren't any Soul Gems. But one of the things that we were surprised to hear was that sometimes kids will load up the game and just go through the Soul Gem videos. You know, when they don't necessarily want to play the game, but they want to be in Skylands. And I've heard that from more than one parent.
Yeah, I mean, my kids do that. And on the 3DS version as well, it gives them a little grid that they can get to quite quickly. Sometimes they have that out while they're playing on the console, and it's like a little cross-reference.
Oh, that's sweet. I like that.
Winged Sapphire.
And so there you found one of the Winged Sapphires, and we have many of these scattered throughout the game, and each one reduces the cost of upgrades by 2%. And so as you go around, you don't have to find them, but if you do, it means you can advance more rapidly with your characters. And all of the upgrades happens back in your ship. There's the Dread Yacht. And as you go through the game, you're going to collect legendary treasures, but this time they're all decorations or features that you can apply to the Dread Yacht. So you have this customizable hub vehicle.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's funny how much time I spend customizing that. You know, the bat wings.
Yeah, so that becomes your home, and so I imagine you spend quite a bit of time there. So it's quite nice if you can change how it looks
And seemingly everybody wants to come along on the trip. Now, you are an air character, so you'll be able to get through this.
Oh, I see.
This is an elemental area, and you can see how now elemental areas, when you're in them, it really feels like you're in an air area. The background's transformed, and things are being swirled around.
Yeah.
So we've tried to do a more complete job of the element.
So these are areas in the game that you can only access if you've got a Skylander of that matching element.
Right. They're optional areas, but there's good treasures in here. So you can go up and get a hat and see which hat he is and see if he looks good in it. Yeah. The hats have, they give you buffs, you know, they'll increase some of your stats, but also their appearance, I think, is very important. So this is, I think, a lampshade. Yeah. This may work for him, we'll see.
So put it on straight away.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's not too bad. Plant potty. Yeah, I think he gets away with it.
Yes. Now, this is a very small elemental area. Some of them are quite large sections of the levels.
Yeah. Cool. So we've got 4 new Skylanders here. Is that right?
Right. let's start. Well, actually, we've got
is-
Series 2 Cinder.
Yes, should we do that first?
Yes, so she is. We had the Series 2 characters are all about upgrades, and what we did is we brought back our favorite characters from Skylanders, the first game, and these characters, they can go up to 15th level, but actually all the characters can now go up to 15th level. But she has an extra super upgrade at the top of her chain, so you can earn the normal upgrades, and then if you want to, you can keep going. On top of that, she also has the ability to dynamically switch between the two upgrade paths. Normally, characters have to make a choice halfway through their upgrades.
Yeah.
And then if you want to, see what the other branch was like, whether you have to reset your toy or get another toy. But this time, you can actually dynamically switch back and forth, and that's really useful.
And that's just for these re-released figures. So
The Series 2.
So if you're Cinder from the first game, you wouldn't be able to switch.
Right, and she doesn't have the Wow-Pow either.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously there's a tension in that, but that's the reason to buy the Series 2, should you want to.
Right. We wanted to offer some new value for the Series 2 toys. We didn't want to just make you buy the exact same character again. So if you really like Cinder and you want another Cinder, then she's slightly more powerful. If you didn't get a Cinder the first time around and you want one, then you can get it. But your old Cinder's a great character, and she can go up to level 15 too.
Yeah. Super.
So at this point, you can go down back into that arena. You blew up the gate that way.
So this Series 2 Cinder, is she visibly different at this stage?
At this point, she is not. We didn't change her base appearance. You need to get the ultimate upgrade.
Yep.
And then that's this blast of lightning that surrounds her.
Did you wish to play with
Another
a
pirate,
very
another
rescue
sea dog
on
pirate
my
who wants to play cards.
You're gonna need more Sky Stones.
Sky Stones.
Because you're not exactly playing with a full deck, if you know what I mean.
Nice.
But
I
you
love
may
the
be
pirates.
able to pillage for some more Sky Stones. We've got a scallywag locked up in our brig who had a pretty fancy deck, as I recall.
So
And the fire.
if I went to the Cinders, can you see her?
You
Stats?
actually use this button right
Okay.
here. You get
That
there.
one.
My
Here we
power
are.
will haunt you.
So we've redefined the stats menu. There's a lot more here. You can see, actually, we have quests, which is a whole new feature exclusive to Giants. But you can go into stats, and you can see what she's got there. And this also shows you a new feature, how long you've played with her. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, so
Okay.
that's kind of fun. And it's also, sometimes it's crazy. You go in there and you see you've played with a character for hours and hours.
Oh, so you could take your original Skylanders and put them on and see how long you played with them?
I'm not sure about that. I know that we credit time here, but I don't recall. I wonder if, well, you know what? Let's see. Can we try switching to a different
sure.
character? This is Spyro. He's from the first game. This is a Series 1, we call him. So
pop Spyro on. And you can tell that the base is green, which
Right.
signifies all the Skylanders Giants figures have this orange base.
that's right.
Right, oops, wrong one. Let's go in here.
No, so it looks
So it
like
looks
yes.
like it.
Yeah,
42
oh,
hours.
cool.
Someone's been busy.
Learn something? Yeah, you learn something every day.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. That's really nice.
Also, so heroics relate to how many challenges you've completed.
Yep.
And if you back out of this and go into, hats obviously lets you pick hats.
Yeah, and there's a lot more hats
Oh
this time
my
round.
gosh, there's a lot of hats. So there's all the one from the first game.
Yeah.
Plus, I think we've got 40 or 45 more. So as you can see, there's a ton.
And will your hat
There's a
collection come
lampshade.
over from the first game?
No, you're gonna, all of the hats your characters wear though will.
Right.
So if there's a hat that your character's got and you don't want to change it, that's fine. You can just leave it.
And so as soon as you bring a character into Giants with the hat on, then that's the hat you got in Giants.
No, you actually have to find that same
Oh, okay.
hat in the world.
Okay.
We had this, this happened in the first game where if you take a character with a hat over to a friend's house, you
Yeah.
had to decide whether or not we wanted you to automatically get that in your collection. And we really wanted you to have to find it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's hats, then upgrades?
Yeah. So here, upgrades, you're now able to go through the entire tree and see
you can
what
see
the
what-
character has. The
Right.
ones that are in color are the ones
Yep.
you've got. And then I think if you go further on down, you'll see the branch that occurs.
Yep.
then-
Look, that's really nice. It's much clearer.
Oh, good. I'm
You
glad.
can see the whole thing.
And yeah, that way you kind of know what you're getting into when you make that choice about which branch you want to go
Yeah.
to.
So this being an original figure, you wouldn't be able to switch branches once you made a
That's
decision
right.
down one of these. But Cinder or any of the Series 2 figures, you would be able to.
Exactly. So this is Fright Rider.
Spear the spear.
And he's our, this is actually sort of a buddy character. You get two characters in one.
Yeah.
Fright Rider, the idea is that he was a racer in this bird creature, and that Chaos fed him some poisoned food. And so in order to keep him alive, he had to turn him into the undead. Now, technically you may say that undead aren't alive, but it gets complicated.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy, and so they make a team. The character can run really fast, and using undead power can send her bony head down underground and pop out.
That's great. Cool, so that's Fright Rider. And we've got...
Chill is one of our new female characters.
Yep.
And like all the characters, female characters in Skylands, they're tough and powerful. And so she's a water character. All of her powers are relate to ice. So she can throw these ice sickles. She can create these walls, and then she can actually kick the walls when she gets certain upgrades and send the ice blocks scattering. And actually, there are some characters that are very straightforward to use. She's one who has some really interesting and complicated strategies, combining her ice walls. Actually, you want to blow this guy up.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Pirate.
He's all right. This guy isn't phased. He just wants to play cards.
Yeah, he's like, great, let's play. So I chose no there. Can I carry on without doing that game?
You can. You'll need to come back when you want to proceed past this section. This is one of our main path characters. So Chill really is powerful, and her ultimate upgrade is the awesome Call of the Narwhal, which summons a giant whale from off screen, and she comes sailing through, and it's a straight line, 100 points of damage to everything in this line. And so what you try to do is line up all of the enemies. And in fact, if you can bring up her character stats, I can show you a little bit about the quests. If we go into her individual quests, let's back up one menu, and then down in here, this is something new for Giants. You can press the A button to go on. There are these 9 quests, and this is specific to your toy. So if you go here, if she defeats 6 enemies all at once with one narwhal attack, she gains that. And then as you complete these, your magic moment icons get cooler and cooler. And it's just a way of sort of showing off how much you played with your character, and you can do these at any point. You know, you can do these in the 1st level or in the 10th level, and each character has his own specific one. Then some are shared by element, and then some are shared by all the characters. And I think one of my favorites is with Jetvac. He actually has a vacuum gun. Pop him on quickly. Oh, sure.
Yeah, might as well.
So he's got this vacuum gun. He can use it actually to blast air out or suck air in. And he's a bird. Now, one of his quests is kind of a strange one. I don't know if we can find any birds around here, but maybe he doesn't like competition because he can suck birds into his gun. And in fact, I think his quest requires 50 birds. You have to suck 50 birds in there. Actually, it used to be 20, and I had so much fun doing it. I went to the designer and said, no, let's make it more.
So you're to blame, but it's 50.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah. It's all in fun.
Great, super. Well, it's really nice to spend a bit more time with some of these figures and sort of see how they look in physical form and how they perform in the game.
We're really proud. I think we learned a lot about making toys at the first time, and we've moved up in technological sophistication so much with our 3D printing that I think these new toys are exactly what we intended, and they match the in-game characters. We're very proud of them.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks,
And we look forward to playing it.
Okay.
Not long now.
Great.
That's all we've got time for this week on Family Gamer TV, but we'll be back with more soon.